Hey there, welcome back to another fresh episode on Karishma Konnect, where I've got Jérôme Monceaux, founder of Enchanted Tools, speaking to me about robotics and how he's making a difference in the field by embedding human led experiences and making robotics almost partner in the human environment real time. He talks to me about the latest robot that he's launched recently at Jitex that was showcased as well. It's called Mirokai and it's inspired by anime. He tells me more about the industry, about the specialization that he's so passionately pursued for so many years now. And he also talks to me about what people need to keep in mind if they're looking to enter this field. Go check out the episode, and until the next one, stay tuned. This is Karishma, and I'll be back every Tuesday. We are T minus 10 episodes away from the big 100. Support us, love us, share the episodes, and do stay tuned to Karishma Konnect. Until the next one, this is Karishma signing off.
It's a pleasure to have you. I can't wait to know more. It's a topic that I haven't covered so far and perhaps wouldn't even have as much background on, but that's exactly why I do this podcast, to gain insights on things that we don't usually know, and we connect with the wider surroundings that are there around us. So thank you for making time. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure for me too.
Merci. The first question I asked Jérôme on this podcast is that, tell me about your journey so far. How are you where you are today, and what's so special about it?
Yeah. So I'm the founder of a company named Enchanted Tools. I set up that company 2 years ago, and I raised 15 million euros day one in order to develop a humanoid robot, first as a prototype in only 12 months. So it has been a challenge. That was 2 years ago. It has been a challenge, and we successfully developed a very new approach on humanoid robots. It's a character that has been character designed with animation movie professionals.
Okay.
Yeah, and he have 20 centimeters long ears, and he is all the time very happy to meet human. And is here to help people moving stuff around. It could be in an hospital, in a restaurant. This is what we call social logistics. So it's automatic object displacement in social places.
Okay. And were you always in this field?
Yes. I mean, I start my work on humanoid robots 20 years ago by founding another company named Aldebaran Robotics. And we developed two quite well-known humanoid robots. The first one is a 57 centimeters high bipedal humanoid robot. So basically, I like this. His name is Nao. And perhaps you already saw it somewhere. And later on, with a Japanese phone operator named SoftBank, we developed another robot named Pepper, which is a 1.20 m humanoid robot. So you have a white face, white body, a tablet here on the body, and two arms and a wheeled base for navigation and so on.
All right. And all this while, the first question that comes to my mind when I hear the word robot is, how do you manage to humanize the whole concept? And that's where I'd like to begin with the podcast, that with your concept and with all the robotics going on, how do you manage to keep the human factor intact?
Human factor intact. So this is quite a wide question, and honestly, we are a civilization that is still very young in terms of what is a humanoid robot. If you look to any robot that has been developed until now, they are just engineers robot. I mean, the question is not what is that robot, what is his story, what is this emotion that you can have in front of him. It's not so much the question. The question is more about the hardware, the specification, the capabilities, the skill of the machine. It's not about what it is. On my the work I'm doing now is mixing three different areas. One is hardware. So what are the motor, what are the battery, what are the CPUs? The second one is software and AI. So how the robot understand what's happened, semantics, but not only semantics. And of course, it happened a lot of event this time around AI. And the third one that is very singular in our situation, but in my point of view, we all need this in humanoid robot, which is animation movie. Why animation movie? Because when we are designing a robot, and especially a humanoid robot, we are creating a characters. You know, it's and if you decide not considering this, you are designing a character anyway. I mean, if you do not choose the engineering work you will have done will choose for you, but your character will become a military character. It will become something that scaring people. And you know, Boston Dynamics, so much robot producer are just producing military robot. Why? Because they do not choose that. So I decide to choose that. I recruit people. I work with a character designer in order to ask ourselves who they are, where they are coming from, what is the goal, what do they want, how much they know about their own story, why they come here on Earth. And when you think about that, we are not, I mean, we are designing characters since centuries. I mean, centuries, yeah. It has been drawing, it has been theater, movies, video game. We have characters everywhere. But there is something new that's happened now, and that's exciting me a lot, which is that the character that exists only on the windows of your TV or on the windows of your video game can jump into our reality. This character could share my reality. So I could live in a movie. No, the movie could live in my world. And this is totally it switch everything. I mean, in the way you can design a movie, you can design a story, or you can design a character. And I deeply believe that in something like 30 years, or perhaps less, I hope less, 20 years, we will have movie designer, movie creators that will design a story in which you can be physically immersed, involved.
All throughout that you talk, I can see a lot of passion for what you do. And I'm sure that it's been years of hard work and years of study and all of that. What do you think has kept you going in the field? What do you think has always inspired you, especially because you're in a field where tangibility can often be a limitation. You may not immediately be able to see what you're trying to achieve till the time you've achieved it. And then when you've achieved it, you know, okay, this was possible. How did you deal with that feeling? How do you deal with that feeling of ambiguity?
Yeah. Yes, tangible things are very difficult to produce. All the time you need techniques, and it's cost a lot, and you have some physical issue, I mean physics issue. But on the other hand, you know, my brain is well adapted for software. It's quite easy for me to play with software. I could decided to involve myself into only software and algorithm and things like that. But I like the reality so much, you know. I'm not a virtual reality guy, you know. What I want is living something in my body in the current situation, touching things and analyzing it, how it works, and you know, actual things. And for decades, technology focused on the digital world, trying to make user go into that digital world. But I believe that now we are entering an area where the technology is leaving this digital world and occurs in the actual tangible world. And this is very exciting because if you think about what we have been able to do with only information and algorithm, imagine what we can do if these algorithms can run on actual physical worlds. It could change the configuration of my space. It could change the building configuration and the way it works. It could change a city. We could organize cars displacement or object displacement following an algorithm that optimize our comfort, our ecological impact, our poverty, and so much things that could now be achieved because AI could run on actual physical world, you know, because that was one aspect of my interest in robots, and which is about moving, performing something in the tangible world. But humanoid robot is more than a robot because it's a robot that become another. In French, we say altérité. In English, we talk about otherness. So a phone is not another person. You know, it's not an otherness. A car is not an otherness. But a humanoid robot is an otherness. You can feel being seen by a humanoid robot. You can feel being existing in the eye of the machine, and it changes totally the way you interact with it. It changes the way you interact with technology, and it questions ourselves about what we are and how much this otherness sculpts the way we interact and the way we are, you know.
How is this kind of robotics different from the others?
From the technological point of view? Yeah. As I said, a humanoid robot is anthropomorphic. So this means that basically it is designed with the same proportion as the human body. 2 arms, fingers, head, sensor in the head, a center of mass pretty high, as I said, and sometimes bipedal robots. And as you said, these humanoid robots could have an impact on the tangible physical world. Exactly, not exactly, but in the way the human can change that world. Let me take an example. If you want to open the door, you have an handle that is that high, and you can grasp and move it like that. Yeah, your arm is very adapted to do that movement.
Yeah.
But if you take any other robot, they are not adapted to that. Sometimes they are too small, sometimes they are too high, sometimes they only have one hand, sometimes they are, they have a grasper but no finger. But if you want to ride a car, if you want to open a door, if you want to move a chair, if you want to, open a windows, and so much action, actually everything around is created for human manipulation. But if we have a humanoid body, then we can do robotic human manipulation, which open so much possibilities.
Yeah. Who want to follow a similar career path as yours, what should they keep in mind, keeping in mind the future era that we are entering, all of that?
Yeah. So I'm an entrepreneur, and I founded companies, five, and there is three that's still running today. So I have hundreds of employees today. I'm very proud of that, and I'm happy because I think these people are happy to work in this company. So that's great. And but I'm also an engineer working on robotic, and I would say that this is two different careers. Being an engineer working on robotics, there is a lot of company where you can do that. Sometimes it's very exciting, sometimes it's very industrial, sometimes it's very I don't know, mathematical. I don't know. And here, of course, science and curiosity is very key, and determination at the same time. So focusing always same things and trying to understand what are the next challenge all the time, technical challenge. So here, I would say, of course, education is very important. How much you like maths, I love maths. How much you like physics. I mean, what happened in a plastics or in a motor, and what are the electromagnetic fields, how they work, what are the properties, what is a sensor, and how could you play with that. It's very, very important, and it helps you to find some new combination, and some new approach, because as we said, robotics is today in 2024, it's still a baby robotics in regard of what we are going to do in 2050. So there is so much things that need to be invented in order to simplify this very complex technology. And on the other hand, the entrepreneur life, it's I mean, if you do that first to have money, you can consider another way, because it's not all the time efficient in that terms. Sometimes you are lucky, and hopefully I have some luck, so it works. But you have to be ready to keep all the time the same focus. I'm doing humanoid robotics since 20 years. I'm still very passionate about that. Most of my ex-colleagues just quit the domain and they are doing something else, but not me. I'm continuing all the time, pushing.
That's what matters the most, I think. That's very useful tip that you just shared there.
It's a mix between determination and obstination, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You were also at GITEX, I know, this year, and I want to ask you, what did you kind of, from all the conversations that went on, and GITEX, of course, has been happening for years. It's been pretty much the platform where we all unite to gain all the updates on what's happening in the field of technology. When you had the conversations and when you were part of the event, what did you learn about the future of what's coming? What's in store in the next couple of years?
Yeah. So GITEX is very inspired by Dubai, and Dubai is very future-oriented city. And what is very inspiring from Dubai is that they got a challenge at the beginning, like oil exists, but not enough for the future of the city. So the founder of Dubai understood that and decided to reinvest the money of oil into the future of the city. And he has been, and they have been very creative in order to find what will be the next adventure after the oil, and be prepared for that. and we should recognize that they successfully managed that transition. They got a major issue that was not only one company, but that was a complete city, a complete area, and they got to transform that city to be ready for another future, and it could be seen as a metaphor of what our civilization is facing in terms of ecological impact and all the big problem we have in front of us. It's not only a city that we must change, but the complete earth in order to go the right way, change the way we are doing things all together. And this is what they have done there. And they are still working like this. So anytime you talk with Dubai people and administrators, anytime they are always looking what will be the next big interesting move for the city. And in GAITEX and in the partners of GAITEX, you can feel that. You can feel that they are trying to find what is at the right scale. I'm not talking about small innovation, but something that could be applied with forces at the city scale or more than that, possibly.
And what's next for Enchanted Tools? What are you planning to do in the years to come and in the field?
Yeah, so I well know my challenge because Nao and Pepper has been a success in terms of they have been the first humanoid robots exposed to untrained user massively. We sold 40,000 units over 10 years, which is very good, and but the robot was not enough. So my challenge today is to do at least 3 times what has been done. I want in 10 years to produce a minimum of 100,000 units. So in order to do that over 10 years, since the robot is pretty long to be developed, we spent already 2 years for that. I still have 8 years to produce 100,000 robots. In the next year, my challenge is finishing the industrialization of the robot, and we are on the good way. Install the factories to make sure that we are on time, ready to ramp up the number of units produced by month. Develop my commercial networks. We have good partners. The robot is very exciting for people, so it works. But I need to be in Europe, in Asia, in US, in so much different countries, and I need partners. So I need the people who will find their partner and contract with the partners. And I also need to create an open urban factory. It's a place where you can meet robots, you can understand our approach, and you can learn things and maths. You can learn how to program it, you can learn what is hardware, and you can discover everything. The first one will be in Paris, but I hope that very soon we can open one in Dubai and in some other places too.
Lovely. I'll be looking forward to that. Before I let you go, I have one more question. And that is, why the name Enchanted Tools? How did you come up with that?
Yeah, that's a long story. In 1 minute, it's very different. But very quickly about that,
Yes,
I think we have two relation with the world. We have a rational relation. So what I'm doing, what makes sense, language, maths, but also reasoning about the world. And we also have an emotional link with the world. What I feel, what do you feel, what do we feel together? What is your feeling about, I don't know, your kids, a piece of art or thing like that. So the first one is rational. The second one is irrational, you know?
Yeah.
So tools is rational. Enchanted is irrational. And we are combining psychologic and robots art, animation character, and humanoid robots. We are making all of this together to create some a marvel for people, and to re-enchant the world the more we can, because this is what we do. We must bring to our kids.
Yeah. More power to you. That sums it all up perfectly for me. And indeed, it's a lovely name. It's a lovely concept. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much,
you.
Jérôme, for joining me and sharing these insights with me to the best possible. Thank you.